This video is presented by the EA Creator Network. Big thank you to EA for letting me get early access to capture this footage for you guys, and remember, this build is still a work in progress. Let's get into the video. EA Sports added thousands of new plays in College Football 26, so I dove deep into the new playbooks and picked out the 10 most unique and unstoppable plays I found. So I guarantee that by the end of this video, you'll have 10 new plays to add to your arsenal and start winning more games. So let's get started. For the first play, we're going to go over Orbit Whip Flood in the formation Gun Tight Open, and this can be found in Alabama's playbook. Now this is a very unique play because the running back is split out wide as a wide receiver. In a normal pass play, you're going to see that the running back is usually lined up in the backfield like a normal running back. But in this play, the running back is lined up as a wide receiver in an auto motion wheel, and you want the running back always lined up to the short side of the field. This is for better route spacing and will get your routes more open. Now for the adjustments, you literally don't have to do anything. All you have to do is snap the ball, the running back will go into this unique motion, and then your first read is going to be the zig route by the outside wide receiver on the right side. And if that route is open, you can just hit him real quickly with a pass lead outside and get as many yards as possible. Now that whip route is also very good at beating man coverage. So just to show you that, I'll put the defense in a man coverage here, so I'll actually just man up that zig route. Then I'm going to snap the ball, and the running back will go into that auto motion wheel, and you're going to see that that whip will beat man coverage. So the ball is snapped, and the whip torches his man coverage, pass lead outside, and we get an easy 5 to 6 yards on the play. So that whip route is pretty deadly. Now your next read in the play is going to be the out route by the slot wide receiver on the right side. So I'm going to snap the ball here, and the running back will go into its motion, and this out route is very good at beating man or zone, and you're going to see against zone coverage, we can pass lead this to the outside, and he'll be wide open on the sidelines just like this. And then you can rack catch that and get up the field for as many yards as possible to keep moving the chains. Now the reason that out route is very good at beating zone is because this auto motion wheel route will actually push back any deep zones, and that will open up the out route on the sidelines for an easy catch. So that auto motion wheel is actually very, very important. Now your next read is the middle wide receiver on that 3 wide receiver side. And when we snap this ball, we're gonna see that that in route will get open underneath zone defense. So when the ball is snapped, we're gonna look to that underneath route. He's open against zone, and we can quickly hit him in the middle of the field for an easy 5 to 6 yards to keep moving the chains. Now that route is also good against man coverage. So we can go to cover 2 man here, and you're going to see when I snap this ball that that in route, the underneath in route, will beat man coverage. So here we go. The auto motion wheel goes in motion, and that in route is open. We can pass lead that in stride away from the defenders, and we get an easy first down on the play to that short 5-yard in route. Now your next read in the play is going to be the dig route by the inside receiver on the 3 wide receiver side. So I'm going to send this running back in motion, and you're going to see that this is a pretty good route against zone or man coverage. And against zone defense, we can usually hit this over the middle of the field, just like that. Sometimes you can highball the pass with LB or L1 over those linebackers, and he'll be open for a good gain in the middle of the field. Now you're going to see against man coverage, this dig is also really good. So again, we don't have to make any adjustments. We're just going to snap this ball, or we're going to press the hike button. The running back will be in motion. Then the ball is going to snap, and you're going to see against man coverage, the dig is really good. We can pass lead that away from any defenders and get another easy gain in the middle of the field. Now, the one thing to watch out for is this wheel route late in the play, because if you have a fast running back, he'll be able to beat man coverage late in the play as long as there's no deep safety help. So for example, if the defense is in a cover 2 man and maybe they're using the safety and they're just going to be playing, on this side of the field, well, usually this wheel route, this auto motion wheel by the running back, will be able to beat his man, especially if he is faster and is just a fast running back. So you're going to see here, he is wide open for an easy 1-play touchdown, and it really forces your opponent to run something other than man coverage because that wheel just does so good against it. At number 2, we're going over the play Motion Mesh Rail in the formation Gun Way Off Trio Close, found in BYU's playbook. So in the play, you always want the 3 wide receiver side flipped to the wide side of the field. For the adjustments, all you want to do is put the solo wide receiver on the left side on a streak. Then you're going to put the tight end in a regular drag, because the drag that he was on stops in the middle of the field against zone defense. And then you're going to put the middle trips receiver on a deep cross, so the play should look like this. So I'm going to press the hike button, and then the auto motion will then go into his motion. And at the snap, your first read is to drag, and against zone defense, you can usually hit this underneath for a little rack catch and get up the field for as many yards as possible. So that drag is your first read. Now the drag route is also very good at beating man coverage. So we're going to switch to man coverage here. So right now we're in a cover 2 man, and you're going to see that the drag will beat his man, and you can pass lead this outside away from the defender just like this, rack catch it and get a ton of yards to that drag. And that drag is only like a 1 yard route, but he gains so much separation that he gets a ton of yards after the catch. Now your next read is going to be the auto motion wheel route. And this auto motion wheel is super unique because it literally beats any defense in the game. So let me show you how. So right now I'm in cover 4 drop, and you're gonna see that the streak by this solo wide receiver will push back any deep zones, and then you can hit the auto motion wheel once it gets past any of the flat zones and underneath the deep zone. So I'm gonna snap this ball, and I'm gonna pass lead this ball down away from the deep zones. You're gonna see we get an easy catch on the sidelines just like that, and we don't even get touched. Now let's go to the instant replay so I can show you how this works. So what you're gonna see here is that this streak is gonna push back any of the deep zones, and then we have all this space to hit this auto motion wheel with a pass lead down for an easy catch. So now let's try a cover 3 zone. So I'm going to adjust into a cover 3 zone. So right here, now we're in a cover 3. The play before was a cover 4. So now I'm gonna set up the offensive play. Here's our play. I'm going to press the hike button. Our auto motion wheel will go into motion, and you're gonna see that this even beats cover 3. You can pass lead that down and get an easy catch like that because that solo wide receiver streak pushes back the deep zones, and we can pass lead the ball down to that auto motion wheel. But now what about a cover 2 zone? So this is what a cover 2 zone will kind of look like. We have 2 deep halves and 2 flats on the outside corners. So this play, the way it's set up, will beat cover 2 zone for a 1-play touchdown to that auto motion wheel. So we're going to snap this ball, and we can pass lead this to the outside and in stride to that auto motion wheel just like this, and then we can rack catch it and get up the field. Right there we got tackled, but you still saw that we have a huge gain. Now why is that open? Well, it's all because of that solo wide receiver streak once again. He keeps the deep half towards kind of like the middle of the field, pretty much just away from this auto motion wheel, and we can just pass lead this up and then get a ton of yards on the play. So what about man coverage like cover 1? Well, usually against man coverage, especially shaded underneath, the way we have this play set up, this wheel will burn man coverage. So we're going to snap the ball here, and that player will go into motion, and you're gonna see that we can beat this player one-on-one for an easy touchdown over the top to that auto motion wheel route. Now your third read in the play is going to be the deep crosser, and this deep crosser is very good against man or zone. So I'm going to snap this ball here, and that auto motion wheel will go in motion, and we can hit this crossing route against zone defense in the middle of the field or towards the sidelines with a pass lead down away from those deep zones, and we can possession catch that on the sidelines for an easy catch. Now that deep crosser is also very good at beating man coverage. So here is our man coverage. Let's just put this guy over here so he's guarding the running back, or he just wants to run back, that's fine. Let's put our offensive play on the field, and then let's send that auto motion over, and you're going to see that the deep crosser will be able to create separation just like this. We can pass it to him in stride away from the defender and get as many yards as possible after the catch. So that deep crosser is very deadly. Your last read in the play is the running back wheel route, and this running back wheel is very good against man coverage, especially late in the play if there's no deep safety help. So we're gonna put the defense in a man coverage, and we're just gonna take this safety away so we could show you how that wheel burns man coverage. We're gonna snap this ball, that will send the auto motion wheel over, then the ball's gonna be snapped, and you're going to see that the running back will be wide open over the top against man coverage for an easy 1-play touchdown, just like that. And you can dive into the end zone and, dance a little bit like number 4 is doing right now. So that is the play motion mesh rail, and it dominates man or zone defense. At number 3, we're going over the play screen slant in the formation gun gate, found in Penn State's playbook. So in the play, you always want the 3 outside blockers flipped to the wide side of the field. So you don't need to make any adjustments in this play, and this play doesn't even allow you to make any adjustments actually. all you have to do is read the outside. If you think you have a numbers advantage to the outside, so right now we have 3 blockers against 2 of those defenders on the outside, that means that you can probably guess that you can throw it to that screen. So we're going to snap the ball here, we're going to throw it to our screen right there, and then we have a ton of open space to make some people miss and try to get as many yards as possible. So this formation is pretty unique. It has those 3 blockers to the outside, and it creates kind of havoc for the defense to line up properly, so you can take advantage of the numbers there and get as many yards as possible. Now let's say that screen on the right side isn't open. Well, then we can just take our eyes to the middle of the field to that slant route, and if that slant is open in the middle of the field, we can just hit it just like that, and we can get up the field for an easy gain with a rack catch. So that slant is there as a check down option, and we also have that flat by the RB receiver on that left side. And this flat is there as a check down if you see that nothing is open. So I'm gonna snap this ball, and if I don't see anything's open, well, I can just hit this flat right there if there's no flat zones and get as many yards as possible as a check down route. So if nothing's open, you always have that flat. So this is a super unique formation, and that is to play screen slant. It's super powerful to keep your opponent on their toes. At number 4, we're going over the play QB sweep in the formation Gun Bunch X Nasty, found in Michigan's playbook. Now in the play, you want the bunch side flipped to the wide side of the field. Now this run play has pretty good blocking, and you're gonna see here that we can go to the outside and we get an easy run with that QB sweep. But there's a few important things that you need to know. First, you don't want to hold the sprint button too early. When you hold the sprint button, a lot of easy sheds happen. So right there, I'm holding the sprint button right away, and we get an instant shed and we get stopped in the backfield. So what you want to do when you snap this ball is not hold the sprint button, and then when you see an open lane, you press the sprint button and get up the field, and that's how you can optimize each running play. Another thing you can do is motion over this tight end so you can get extra blockers to that side, and then we can snap this ball, and you're going to see with those extra blockers, we have an open lane, really bad run stick there, but we were still able to get 6 to 8 yards. So again, we can motion that tight end over, we can get some more blockers over there, then we can snap this ball, and we can try to get to the outside just like this, and then right there, we make some more blocks, and we get 10 to 15, maybe 20 yards on that QB sweep. So that is the play QB sweep, and it's a great run play to get easy yards. At number 5, we're going over the play curl flat in the formation pistol flex bone tight, found in Rice's playbook. Now in this play, you always want the outside solo wide receiver flipped to the wide side of the field. Now the only adjustments you have to make is to put the solo wide receiver on the right side of your screen on a streak, and then the play will look like this. Now your first read in the play is the flat, and if there's no flat zone on the field, we can pass lead this to the outside and get as many yards as possible to that flat. And it's very important to hit your flats to make the defense respect that area of the field. Now your next read in the play is going to be this return route, and this return is very good against man or zone. Against zone, we could hit that underneath of the linebackers for an easy gain just like that. Now that return route is also very good against man coverage. So right here, we're in a man coverage, and we're gonna set up our play just like that. We're gonna snap this ball, and you're gonna see that the return will create a ton of separation. We can pass lead him the ball away from the defenders and get an easy 5 to 8 yards to that return route. Now your next read in the play is going to be the post route, and the post is very good against zone or man defense, and against zone, we can pass lead that ball down away from those safeties and get about 20 yards to that post. So the post is very hard to guard, and again, you want to pass lead that ball down, because you're going to see here, if we don't pass lead that ball down and then come back to the ball, this safety could make a play on that receiver. But if we pass lead that ball down and come back to the ball, we're going to have an easy catch just like you saw in that instant replay. Now the post is also very good at beating man coverage, so we're going to set up our man coverage here. So right now we're in a cover 2 man coverage. We can set up our offensive play by putting the outside wide receiver on a streak. We're going to snap this ball, and we're going to watch the post cook his man just like that with the pass lead in stride. We don't even get touched by the man defender, and we get an easy throw just with a pass lead away from those defenders and in stride to that post. Now your last read is going to be the running back on that flat route as a check down. So we're going to snap this ball, and if everything is guarded, we can hit our check down route just like that, try to get some people to miss and get an easy 3-4 yards to that check down route if nothing else is open. So that is the play curl flat, and it's a great passing setup to move the ball down the field. At number 6, we're going over the play double motion halfback toss in the formation gun wing slot offset, found in Oregon's playbook. Now in this play, you always want to be sure you have the running back flipped to the short side of the field. Now this play is very cool because we have a double motion. So when I press the hike button, you're going to see two players go in motion, and then the play will auto snap the ball for me, and then we have a toss to the left side here, and you're going to see the blocking is pretty good in this play. So I'll do it again. I'm going to press the hike button. We have those two players go in motion, then the play will auto snap the ball for me, and right here again we get very good blocking. We hit that hole, and now we're out, try to get to the house, make some people miss, and get a ton of yards on that tossing play. Now the one thing you always need to remember when running the ball is you don't want to hold the sprint button too early. So when I hold the sprint button too early, you're going to see that there's going to be people coming in, and people will just not block properly, and there will be a lot of disengages. But if I only hold the sprint button when I see a hole to run through, or when I'm past the line of scrimmage, you're going to see that we're going to be able to get some more yards on the ground just like that. So again, be sure you do not hold the sprint button too early, and you want to hold the sprint button when you see a hole to run through or when you get past the line of scrimmage. So we'll do this one more time as an example. We're going to press the hike button, our players go in motion, then the ball is going to be snapped, and we're not going to hold RT, we're not going to hold RT, now we're going to hold RT, and here we go. If we can make no one, we don't need to make, oh, we do need to make people, we got to the 5. But I love this running play. It's really good. The blocking's great, as you can see right there, and it really just gives you an opportunity to get some easy yards. At number 7, we're going over the play branch return in the formation gun bunch spread nasty, found in Kentucky's playbook. Now in this play, you always want the bunch side flipped to the wide side of the field. Now for the adjustments, you want to put the middle bunch receiver on a streak, then you're going to put the inside bunch receiver on a regular drag, because the default drag or the stock drag would stop in the middle of the field if it was zone defense. So we just want to put a regular drag on the field or on that receiver. Now your first read in the play is going to be the drag route, and this drag is very good against zone or man. Against zone, we can get an easy pass underneath the zones and get as many yards as possible to keep moving the chains to that drag. So the drag will also create separation versus man coverage, so the defense is in man. Then we're going to set up our offensive play, and here we go, there's our play. Then we're going to snap this ball, and you're going to see that the drag can create separation. We can pass lead that ball to the outside away from the defenders, rack catch that ball, and get up the field for an easy gain. Now your second read is going to be the return route by the outside bunch receiver, and this return is one of the best routes in the entire game. It beats zone or man, and you saw right there against zone, we can hit that route or that player underneath of the linebackers against zone defense. Now the return will also beat man coverage. So right here, we are in man coverage, and you're going to see that the return will be able to create a ton of separation. So we're going to snap this ball, and we get separation from our defender there, and we can pass lead him away from the defenders and get an easy gain. Now your next read in the play is going to be the dig route by the solo wide receiver, and this dig is really, really good against zone. You're going to see that you can hit this dig in the middle of the field just like that against zone. Then if you can make some people miss, you can go for a one-play touchdown just like that and celebrate on your opponent and dive in the end zone. So that dig is just very good against zone. Now the dig also does a very good job against man coverage. So here we go. Here's our man coverage, and you're going to see that the dig is a ton of separation versus man, and we are off to the races to try to get another one-play touchdown to that dig against man coverage. Now lastly, if everything is guarded, we're just going to look at our running back check down route, and that is a check and release. So he'll block, and then if he doesn't need to block anybody, he'll go out on a route, and if nothing's open, we can just hit that running back and get as many yards as possible. Again, if nothing else is open, you have that running back check and release route just to check it down to. So that is the play branch return, and it's a great play to call that beats man or zone. At number 8, we're going over the play whips Z post in the formation gun tight flex, found in Middle Tennessee State's playbook. Now in this play, you want the running back side flipped to the short side of the field. Now for the adjustments, all we're going to do is block the running back, then we're going to put the outside wide receiver on the running back side that's on a post on a deep cross. I just like the deep cross better because I think it's better at beating man, and it gets across the field a lot faster. Now your first read in the play is really just 2 routes in one. you want to read the zig routes. If you see one of the zigs is open, you just want to pass it to one of the zigs. And right there, I see A is open, or the tight end on the right side is open. So I just quickly passed it to that zig. So whatever zig that you see is open, you just want to hit them right away as your first read. Now zigs also beat man coverage. So if the defense goes into man coverage, so now the defense is in cover 1, you're going to see that we'll probably have both zigs on either side of the field, and we did, and right there we were able to pass it to the left side zig and get an easy gain, and right there was a bad animation, so let's just do that again. So here we go, cover 1, we're going to set up our play call here, there we go. We're going to snap the ball, and you see right there, the tight end this time created a ton of separation. We let it outside away from the defenders, rat catch the ball, and got a ton of yards to keep moving the chains to the zig. Now your next read in the play is going to be this deep crosser by the outside wide receiver on the running back side. And against zone, you're going to see that we can pass this ball down away from those deep zones, come back to the ball, aggressive catch it, and then get up the field for as many yards as possible. Now why is that route open? Well, it's very simple. This fade route by the outside wide receiver will push back any of the deep zones, creating a ton of space for this crosser for a pass lead down, and depending on where that deep zone is, you could pass lead him more up, but it's always safe to pass lead it down away from switch sticking and coming back to that ball for an easy catch and then get up the field. So what about man coverage? So let's go to man coverage. Let's go to cover 1 once again, and you're gonna see that once I set up the play, so I'm going to snap this ball, and you're going to see that the deep crosser will be able to create separation with the pass lead in stride, just like that. We don't even get touched by that man defender, and we're able to gain a ton of yards against man defense to that deep crosser. So that is the play whips Z post, and it's a great play call to get yards through the air. At number 9, we're going over the play orbit wide receiver option in the formation gun trips off over weak, and this can be found in Kansas's offensive playbook. Now in this play, you always want the trip side flipped to the wide side of the field. So this play is a read option and speed option all in one, and it also incorporates a wide receiver motion. So first off, when I snap this ball or press the hike button, that wide receiver is going to go into an auto motion. But when the ball is snapped, we're going to read the read key, so that triangle R icon over that D end on the right side. So if that read key defender commits towards the running back, then I'm going to hold A on Xbox or X on PlayStation to keep the ball with the QB, and then I'm going to run outside and run a speed option with that wide receiver. So let's first press the hike button to get that player in motion. Let's read the read key and see what happens. So if he commits towards the running back, we're going to hold A. He commits towards the running back. Then we're going to actually pitch the ball because the guy went after the QB, and we got some easy yards there. So there's so many things to read here, but if you read it correctly, you can get a lot of yards. So let's do this again. We're going to press the hike button. We're going to read that read key. And if he commits towards the running back, we're going to hold A or X. He commits towards the running back. He's coming after the QB. I hold LB, and we pitch it and get an easy 5 to 6 yards on the ground. So let's go to the instant replay. Now remember, when I'm making this pitch, I'm pressing LB or L1. So LB on Xbox and L1 on PlayStation, and that will pitch the ball to that speed option guy, and then you can get up the field for an easy gain. But let's look at the read keys here. So if we go all the way back, you're gonna see that this read key went after the running back. Then we kept the ball by pressing A or X or holding A or X. Then the pitch key defender ran after the QB. So we pressed LB or L1 and we pitched it to our speed option guy, and then we got some easy yards on the ground. So let's do this one more time because these plays are actually really fun to run. So let's press the hike button. Let's get that wide receiver in his auto motion, and we're gonna read the read key. And the read key here stays put actually. So we just don't press any button to hand the ball off to the running back, and we get an easy 5 to 8 yards on the ground. So again, if that read key stays put, then you can literally just press no button at all, and that will just give the ball to the running back, and then it's just a normal inside zone to the running back. So that is the play orbit wide receiver option, and it's a unique play to keep your opponent honest. At number 10, we're going over the play cheat flood return in the formation gun bunch wide, found in Georgia Southern's playbook. Now in this play, you always want the bunch side flipped to the wide side of the field. Now for the adjustments, you literally have to do nothing. You can run this completely stock. All you have to do is press the hike button to put that player in motion, and he's going to run a very good return route that beats zone or man. So we're going to snap this ball, we have our auto motion, and you're going to see against zone, we can get this underneath any zone defense, just like that, pass lead that to the inside, and get as many yards as possible to that return versus zone defense. Now what about man coverage? So let's man up the return route. So now the return route is manned up, and you're going to see that this return is going to be able to beat man coverage very, very easily, just like that, and we can pass lead the ball to that return route away from the defenders for an easy gain against man. Your next read in the play is going to be the corner route, and the corner is also very good against zone or man, and you're going to see that against zone defense, we're going to have this corner route on the sidelines with a pass lead down, and we can possession catch that for a toe tap catch on the sidelines. Now let's go to the instant replay so I can show you how that works. What you're going to see is that this little fade route right here is going to push back any of the deep zones, and that will leave all of the space for the corner to pass lead it down, come back to the ball, and get a good catch on the sidelines for a first down. Now this corner can also beat man coverage. So if we were to man up the corner route, so you're going to see here, the corner route is now manned up, and you're going to see that the corner will be able to create separation. So we're going to snap this ball, and against man coverage, we can create separation, we can pass lead that ball down, and get a catch just like that on the sidelines against man or zone. Now your next read in the play is the dig route by the solo wide receiver on the left side of your screen, and this is also a very good zone or man beater. And against zone, you're going to see that you can hit this route in the middle of the field as long as you have enough time in the pocket, which we do right there, and we throw a strike down the middle of the field to that dig to keep moving the chains and get a first down. Now the dig is also very good against man coverage, so if we were to just man that dig up, you're going to see that the dig will be able to create separation against man. So we're going to snap this ball, and you're going to see that if we can get some time in the pocket, that the dig will be open in the middle of the field, just like that, and we could get an easy pass for some good yards to the dig. Now, if everything is covered, we have this running back check and release route as a check down route, and we can just throw it to him again if nothing is open, and we can get as many yards as possible to this check down, try to make some people miss, pretty much just trying to make something out of nothing. So you always have that check down if everything is guarded. So that is to play cheat flood return, and it's phenomenal versus man or zone. If you enjoyed this video, you'll love this College Football 26 gameplay video where I showcase new features during a live game. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.